Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Sunday, the 12th of March 2023, and in this video I wanted to talk about three major end time Bible prophecies which I think are causing a little bit of a concern out there, amongst Bible scholars, if you like, or in the Bible scholar community. Now I want to be talking about Ezekiel 38:19 all the way to Ezekiel 38:21, okay? Now what I've done here is actually drawn a box from Ezekiel 38:19 to 21, okay? And I've done this box so that I can explain to you the context in a much clearer way, so that it'll be a lot easier for you to understand what I'm talking about, if you like. And I divided this into 4 different sections, okay? Now there's 3 prophecies, but I had to divide this into 4 sections so that I can explain to you the whole context. Now, the first box is pretty much all of Ezekiel 38:19, all of it in its own box, if you like. And Ezekiel 38:20, I start from the word "so" and finish where it says "my presence," okay. And the third box starts with the word "and" and finishes with the word "ground," okay, because this is a different context, separate from this, okay, because the context here then goes back to Israel, okay. Now, one of the problems that Bible scholars are having is that when they read these verses here, where it says, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. There are two schools of thought. There is one camp that says that this belongs to Israel only, and also there is another camp that says that this could happen not only in Israel but all over the world, okay. And then the last box, I started here on Ezekiel 38:21, which pretty much is on its own, if you like, okay. It starts with the word "and" and finishes with the word "brother," okay. So let us begin, okay. And it says, "For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel," okay. So quite clearly the first box is talking about, or in other words, Ezekiel 38:19, that there's going to be a great shaking, in other words, an earthquake in the land of Israel. Notice how it's got a full stop and a comma. Now the full stop is practically saying that the earthquake is going to be in Israel only, and not anywhere else. And the comma indicates us that we need to follow up on the context here on Ezekiel 38:20, okay. So we know that this earthquake is only going to be in Israel, period, because the full stop here is telling us that, hey, period, it's Israel only, not anybody else, okay. Now let's follow the context. As a result of this great shaking or this earthquake, if you like, you need to realize that the shock waves are going to be so huge, okay, that it explains here, so that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, okay. So what God is doing with this great shaking of earthquake, okay, that is going to happen only in Israel, full stop, period. God wants to shake the whole world, okay, and He wants all creatures that are living on earth, including the fishes of the sea, the fowls, and so on, including men or humanity, okay. So He's going to make sure that this earthquake will shake the whole world, and that the whole world will know that, hey, it was God that done this, okay, because the shock waves, God is going to make sure that the shock waves of this huge earthquake, go over the whole face of the earth, like it says here. Everyone will know, because people all over the world know that, God has a covenant with the land of Israel and its people. So and because this earthquake is obviously going to be happening in Israel, then people will know, that during this earthquake, that, hey, it was because of God that He did this, and it's also been prophesied. So we know that this is coming from God, right? Now here comes the tricky part, okay? So this is the third box, okay? This is where Bible scholars have a problem. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Now, many Bible scholars think that perhaps there are two camps, like I said on the my video, that this is probably only going to happen in Israel, and the other camp says that this is going to happen in Israel and around the world because of this great shaking. Now, the fact that it's got a comma here, okay, you need to understand that once God causes this great shaking or this great earthquake in Israel, okay, so that every creature that creeps on earth will know about this shaking, will know that it's coming from God. This bit here, the context here goes back to Israel, okay, because the fact that it's got a comma here, okay, once the shaking is be done and it causes all of this, okay, it goes back to Israel, it goes back here because it's got a comma, and the mountain shall be thrown down, because don't forget that the earthquake is happening in Israel, it's not happening anywhere else in the world, you know. So this is all for Israel, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Now, where it says here, every wall shall fall to the ground. I'm wondering if that the walls in the old city will fall to the ground as a result of this great shaking in Israel. Okay, now I strongly believe that once you got a comma here, okay, once God is telling us that, hey, this great shaking is going to happen in Israel, and that every creature is going to feel it, okay, after the comma, the context, okay, all of this goes back to Israel, okay, and the mount, because don't forget that it's a big earthquake, okay, so mountains are going to be falling down, and as a result of this, you also got to expect that some buildings are also going to be collapsing, okay. It says here that, if I can get the focus back, and every wall shall fall to the ground. So yeah, perhaps the old city walls might fall down. Many walls will fall to the ground. There's gonna be some buildings will fall as well. Don't forget this is gonna be a great shaking, so we can expect that. But definitely without a shadow of a doubt, an earthquake happens always at a certain place, and damage is gonna be happening in a certain area where the earthquake happens. It's not like an earthquake is going to affect the whole world. This earthquake is only happening in Israel. It's not like all the mountains are gonna be thrown down all over the world. It's not like all the walls around the world are gonna be falling down, because it's not a worldwide earthquake, okay? It's only an earthquake that is happening in Israel. However, it's gonna be a great shaking, a big one, but the aftershocks, if you like, are gonna reach, the whole earth. Every creeping creature on earth, including humans, are gonna feel this, and they're gonna know that it came from God, because it's being prophesied here, so we know that it's coming from God. And also people all over the world know, like I said on the my video, that God has a covenant with the nation of Israel. So when you think of an earthquake, you need to think, well, where is this earthquake happening? Okay, so it's happening in Israel. So the focus point is only on Israel, this big earthquake, okay? And so the context here, when it's got the comma here, and it refers to how it's going to be affecting the mountains of Israel, okay? So the mountains of Israel shall be thrown down, okay? And the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. So if every wall is going to be falling to the ground, you can expect, those walls from the old city in Jerusalem to be falling down, amongst other walls. Obviously, you can expect building damage, like I said before. So yeah, you need to think, when you think of an earthquake, you need to think, well, where is the earthquake happening? It has to happen in some point around the earth. It's only going to happen in Israel. So you can't expect that every single mountain that shall be thrown down in the context here is going to happen all over the world. That cannot happen because, the shock waves of an earthquake, even though it's going to be a great shaking, it's not like all the mountains are going to be falling down. The context here is Israel, okay? Once the great shaking happens, everybody's going to feel it, okay? But then once you got the comma here, the context then goes back to Israel, okay? So it will be the mountains of Israel that will be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground, okay? So those great big walls in the old city of Jerusalem, they are destined or prophesied to fall down. Now, let us go back to the last box here, Ezekiel 38:20. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, okay? So see here how the context follows, throughout all my mountains, okay? What are the mountains of God? Israel. God has a covenant with the land of Israel and his people, so it's all about, the land of Israel. So see how the context keeps following, okay? So let us reread this. And I will call for a sword against him through all my mountains, said the Lord God. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. So what's happening here is that as this great coalition, or this great northern coalition, comes down to the mountain of Israel, as in Russia, Turkey, Iran, Syria, Hezbollah and all those other terrorists, including Sudan and Libya, as they come down, as is, in this great coalition to fight the people in Israel or the Israeli army, okay, God is going to make sure that they actually start to kill one another, because it says here that God is saying here that every man's sword shall be against his brother. So in other words, all this partnership or this whole coalition that is coming down, they're going to be killing each other, sword against his brother. So that's what he's saying here. That's the context of it, And then in here, I don't want to do this, but it tells you here that, in Ezekiel 38:22, and I will plead against him with pestilence. So he's going to punish this great northern coalition with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many that are with him, and overflowing rain. Okay, so it's going to be a flood, great hailstones, fire and brimstone. Okay, so this Ezekiel 38:21 is part of the punishment. It's part of God's wrath against the coalition. They're going to be killing each other, basically. Sword against each other, if you like. Okay, so just remember, folks, this is the bit here that is causing a lot of concern amongst the Bible scholar community. Okay, that the context here then goes back to Israel. Okay, because just to summarize, okay, when the great shaking happens in Israel, this great shaking alone, okay, the shock waves as a result of this earthquake, every creature that creeps upon the face of the earth will feel it, including all humanity, okay, and that will know that it's coming from God because it has been prophesied, and all people around the world know that God has a covenant with the land of Israel and his people. And then the comma here, the context goes back to Israel, and as a result of this great big earthquake, the mountains in Israel, okay, shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. So this all here, it's all for Israel, okay? So I hope that I have edified the church in some way here with this video, because I know that it's causing a little bit of a concern out there amongst the Bible scholar community. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll talk to you guys later.